Okay, we're back with Cicero. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good.
All right, this is our numero dos. It's our second one-on-one training session here with the mentorship. And just ignore what's on the screen here. I just have that up so we can look at stuff. So how was your weekend?
Good.
We had a
I
short
guess
week.
week, right?
Yeah. It's been a little bit. We had the short week because of Labor Day, and then we had the weekend.
Yeah.
And you had an interesting experience at the tire place this morning. For legal reasons, we won't mention the name of the shop. But
5 hour wait.
yeah, it's always fun. So you had a little bit of stress today.
Just a little bit. Haven't even gotten to look at the market today.
All right. Well, that's not a bad thing, right? Because most people get too close to the market, and that's when they get burned. So
Right.
you have kind of an advantage here by having a chaotic, stressful day. So let's talk about that homework. How's that going?
It went good. Let's see. Go over to my notes really quick. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I did 9.
Did 9. Okay, that's beautiful. And the part of the assignment was, we set out to get 10, right? 10 back tests.
Yep.
But as I told you this morning, part of that is not having the pressure, not having the stress of not getting all 10. So if you're,
Yeah.
maybe I set you up to fail a little bit, but it's okay because I don't want you to feel like, you have to hit that target because the market doesn't operate on your timing, if that makes sense. So I don't want you to stress out and I have to do 10 trades in a week because that's bad. But now that we, 9 is good if they're quality. So I don't really care that it wasn't 10. So just give me what you got because that's all I care about. So why don't you give me a ticker?
All right. I'm going to go with one that I had a good run on. Let's take a look.
Give me some bad ones too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's do AUTL.
Okay. All
Um,
right.
and I did time. The date was April 1st, 2020.
Oh wow. Okay, you went back.
Oh yeah, I zoomed all
All
the way
right.
out and I just scrolled
Pick a
across
random
my
one.
screen like this and clicked a button.
Fair enough. All right. So you said April 2020.
April 1st, 2020. Yep.
April Fool's Day. All right. I like it. All right. So looking at this chart, April 1st was a red slope, right? So we don't get we don't get an entry here.
Daily?
What's up?
I
Daily. Yeah.
choose. One second. Let me take a look at my.
Sure. We can go to a
What
different
if-
time frame, but
No, I'm just trying to figure out why I feel like it was. I wrote positive, so.
ooh.
Ooh, I lied on the date.
Oh. Okay. What do you got?
May 4th, 2020.
Oh, okay. That's not bad. All right. So I'll just close out
April
of this.
1st might have been when I clicked on it and then scrolled to.
Fair enough. All right. Well, that's an easy fix. So you said May 4th, as in May the 4th be with you?
Yes,
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna fix that
hurt
over
myself
here.
for saying that. All right. All right. So May 4th. We got a little bit of time travel situation here. Okay. So we have a positive slope and we got a tiny red candle. Do you remember? So around April 1st is when you kind of went back in time, right?
Yeah,
So we didn't really pick the wrong day here. You just would have had to walk forward a little bit, right?
which is pretty much what I did. I just kept skipping forward until I found a decent entry.
Beautiful. And this one just happens to have touched the moving average. Now there are a couple opportunities here for like this one here. I would consider that a small enough risk, but it is far away from the moving average, so it's okay to pass
Yeah.
on that, right?
I avoided ones that were far away.
Perfect. That's beautiful because you're improving your probability here, not necessarily your win rate because it's never a guarantee, but you're improving your probability of it going up if it tests that support and holds. So let's go ahead and walk through one candle at a time. So judging by this, right? If you're watching this opening price the day before, and this would be your defined low, you'd wait till the next day opens up, see if this breaks to the upside, and then this would be your stop loss, and you'd set a 1 to 2 take profit somewhere up here for that initial take profit. Was that your approach?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
I have 913 as my entry and 860 as my stop loss.
Perfect. All right. So I eyeballed these, so I got the 913 one right, but this, yeah, you're right. This is 1 cent below the low there, so I have to move it down 1 cent. Okay. Damn. All right. So we can also use a little bit of math here, right? We can do what's that? 913 Or I'm sorry, let's take a look here. So 912 would be the actual opening price. So 912, so 913 would be the entry. The low of the candle is 861, so the stop loss would be 860. So your target should be 1019. Is that roughly accurate?
1019 is correct. Yeah.
All right, good stuff. I should do this for a living.
Perfect. Yeah, I think you should look into making a YouTube channel too while you're at it.
I'll consider it when I'm done with this. All right, so the next day the candle opens and we get a push, right? So we had a buy stop order set the day before potentially. Market opens, we get a good push to the upside. No take profit, no action to take. It's between these two levels. The coin is in the jar, so to speak. So there's no need to do anything, right?
Yep.
I love it. Let's see what the next day holds. All right. Next day holds, we get a tiny red candle, right? This is what messes people up. They're like, oh, I should take my profits now. It's pulling back. It's stalling, you know? But it's in the jar, so we don't do anything, right? Nothing has changed as far as our expectations of it hitting this level or this level, right?
Yep.
The only thing that's changed is our perspective, because we're like, it's close.
My thought when I hit go again and it did that, I said, it's still going up.
That's all that matters. It's going to hit one of these two levels. It's going to break. It's going to hit 1019 or it's going to hit 860. That hasn't changed from our entry, just our feelings about it, right?
Yeah.
So let's see what it does. And it hits our target, right?
Yeah, so my thought, so what I have been doing on the paper trading was I'd hit take profit and move my stop loss to entry to lock all profits.
Okay.
However, with that candle, I'm not sure when it hit, when it would have hit that stop loss.
Well, it would have been sometime throughout the day, right?
Yeah, so I'm just assuming that it hit the low, then went back up because I didn't look. Yeah. So I just assumed it didn't hit stop loss and took profit and kept going.
Okay, well, if you're moving your stop loss after the target is hit, that means that would have had to have been hit first, right?
The target hit first, right? Is that what you said?
Yep, and then you would have moved your stop up, I assume, right? Otherwise, this stop would still be down here.
Yeah, so at the moment, the stop was at the original stop loss. So
perfect. So this would have been a take profit. You would have locked some majority of your shares, 75%, 50%, whatever your approach is.
Yeah, I sold. So I had 5 shares because I was trying to do a lower budget. Sold 3 shares for $30.57.
Beautiful. All right, that's good stuff. So let's see where it goes, right? So now that we hit the target.
And then after I moved stop loss up.
Oh, up to here. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So in terms of what we can, like next steps, right? So step 1 is obviously it's going to hit one of these two levels. Step 2 is then to look for a sequence, whether it's going to be a higher validated low or a 5-candle run to capture an impulse. So right here, we've got a low, but it's not isolated 2 candles to the left, 2 candles to the right. So this isn't a higher validated low candidate. So the stop loss in theory would still be down here, but you moved yours up, and that's okay too. But this isn't a candidate for a higher validated low. And this would only be 2 candles in a 5-candle run because this guy can't be the first since this one's lower. That make sense?
Yep.
So we're automatically looking for a 5-candle run, and we're on candle number 2. So we don't have to make any decisions here. We're just letting the chart do it for us.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what we get. Candle 3, so our 5-candle run candidate is over, right? And we also don't have a higher validated low candidate. So no decisions to be made, no actions to be taken. Let's just go ahead and walk through this a little bit. So we had a higher validated low opportunity here, but this guy broke it. All right, so there's nothing we can do here. This is just good old-fashioned chop. What we do have here, though, this now becomes a higher validated low. So as soon as this candle closes...
I don't know if I noticed that one.
Yep. So
what would that stop loss be put at?
That would be... the low of this candle is 965, so you'd move it up to 964.
I missed that one.
Yeah.
It didn't make any difference anyway, so.
No, it's all the same, yeah. It's based on what you see and how you manage your risk and stuff, so.
Yeah, I
so,
totally didn't see that one.
Yep, it sneaks up on you. So now, right, we could delete these lines. We don't need these anymore, right? We're just looking for stop losses at this point. If we see a huge run, yeah, we can just lock the profits if we want to, but for the sake of just developing discipline, we're just looking for these stop losses, right? And reasons to move them up. So in this case, we got a higher validated low, and we have 1, 2, 3 candles in a potential 5-candle run. So that's what we're going to keep looking for. 4, 5. Okay, so the 5th candle is closed, which means as soon as this one closes and the next one opens, what we can do is put a partial stop in place for the majority of our shares. That make sense? because
Yeah.
we're now looking at an impulse. So let's see if we get that. Every subsequent candle, we just move that up. So I'm just going to keep following this up. Boop, 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 boop. Every time one of these closes, I move it up. And we lock 75% of our shares right here as soon as that's broken, right? Okay, now what are we looking for?
Question. So
Sure.
that last really small green candle.
This guy up here?
Yeah, why wouldn't
Okay.
you put that at the bottom of that one? Is it because it broke? You don't want to put it right on the last one.
No, it's right below the wick of that candle.
I see. I see.
The lower, yeah. So we want to basically follow the low of that period, up and up and up until the low is broken, because that means it's no longer forming higher lows on the lower time frame. So it's not an up channel.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just not able to push it down any farther than the general pushback within that day. So this,
Yeah, so
however, was broken.
I did 1210. So
Ah,
I
okay.
put it at the bottom of the
Oh, the body. Okay.
close. Yeah.
You could do that. You're going to have a little bit of trouble with those because if you get something like this, for example, if you put it right here, this candle's smaller. It's an inside candle or a harami. And those literally have a 50-50 of breaking up or down. I just personally prefer the lows because that tells us we're in technical impulse. It's entirely up to you.
Yeah.
Some people also like to take these big candles, these bullish, specifically haramis without the wicks, or sorry, Marabozus, and they'll put it like halfway through the candle because that's the retrace zone within that candle. So it really doesn't matter. It's up to you.
Okay.
What's important here is that you just pick one strategy and just do it as consistently as you can. So, so in this case, what we're looking for now would be a higher validated low because we have two candles to the left with lows that are higher than this one.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see if we get that. Yes, we do. So now our stop loss, as soon as this guy closes, right? Because these two are now higher and these two are higher. They have higher lows. So this low right here is uncontested. It's isolated, so we can move our stop loss up. 1 cent below. I'm not going to move that to the cent, but you get the idea, right? And now we've got 1, 2, 3 as far as higher lows go. So let's see if we can get 4 and 5. We can't. So we got this guy kind of ruined our 5 candle run, but now we have 1 and 2 candle in a series of potentially 5. So let's just keep going. Because this guy can't be a higher validated low candidate because of this guy. It's just the same stuff over and over. Same thing, right? This guy can't be a candidate. Yep. So this chart seems to like doing that quite a bit. So right here we've got a 5 candle run. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can then set another partial stop if we want to, if we have any shares left, right? So at this point you might have like 1 share, right?
Yeah, I think are we at that point yet? Yeah, I think I took my last share at 1356.
Oh, cool. All right, so it must be on the next candle probably.
I think so.
Yes, it is. Look at that. So you'd be all out. So that's beautiful.
However, I did have a higher validated low that I moved stop loss to 1242.
1242. Let's see where that is.
I don't know why. 1 second, let me find it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe extended hours, lower time frame, maybe. Or was the chart adjusted for dividends, maybe? Because that'll mess with that
I'm
sometimes.
not sure. I have it on the 15th of June.
Oh, that's after this.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, that's odd.
So this would be a higher validated low, but if you didn't have any shares left, it wouldn't matter. So let's go ahead. Let's go forward, a couple days.
Oh boy.
So
I might have been a little tired then.
That's okay. Well, 1241. Yeah, 1242 is the low of this candle, so that looks like that might have been your higher validated low. So if you had more than 5 shares, you'd still have some left
Did I
here.
have one more? Oh, you know what? I think. No. Interesting. I have that one before the 1356 one. I don't know where I put that.
Okay.
What time did I do this at last night?
Right, yeah. That's all good. So either way.
Boy.
Right. Well,
either way, it was still a good run.
Yeah, well, you identified a higher validated low, you just kind of lost track how many shares you had, which wouldn't happen in real time because you'd be very well aware of those shares. All right, cool. So also what we have here, right, we got a nice clean impulse. If you kick this up to like the weekly, let me see if this will do this without messing it up. That's a 5 candle run on the weekly, and you just terminated it right there. So you would have exited completely. So that's pretty clean, man. I like that. And you got in down here. So what kind of number are we looking at for your minimum take profit is 36% on at least one share.
So, what am I looking at? Which numbers?
Oh, so your entry here
Yeah.
at 9, what is it, 913?
It was May 4th.
Yep, right on this guy. All the way up to right here, which is the highest, lowest point you would have had, right? Because obviously
Yeah.
your max profit on your shares would be here at 48.64%, where you took profit on your last share at, this break, right?
Right.
If your higher validated low was up here. I don't remember if we had any other. I moved my lines, so I kind of lost track too. But if you had one share left, maybe this would be your minimum max take profit, I guess, if that makes sense, on at least one share. If this gets invalidated. So in this case, it doesn't. It just keeps going. But you get like re-entry opportunities. I mean, you could have traded that. You could have traded just that. I mean,
so I tried to each paper trade. I tried to calculate my profit and percentage.
Oh, beautiful.
So on this one, I started, or I opened, or my entry was 5 shares for 45.65.
Okay.
I ended with 56.23, so that would be plus 10.58 with 23.17% profit.
It's not
I
bad.
have no clue if that math is right. It looks right to me.
Okay. All right. Well, what does look right here, and this is kind of where I think you can absolutely, I want to give you the specifics to focus on so that the overall concept doesn't distract you too much. But now I want you to focus on the overall concept. So if you're in this trade, okay, and this is your risk, okay, of 5.91%, and you're locking at least this much profit on one share, right?
Yeah.
Let's say this gets invalidated at some point. You forget to move your stop up, right? Obviously, your one share profit would be up here. But let's just use this one as a safe estimate. Maybe you panic sold on the way up because you didn't want it to go too high up. Whatever. This is a rough range of where you were locking some profits. 35% on one share should outperform 5% or 6% loss on the other 4.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, you're killing it without doing anything. So, if you locked 75% of the shares at this 1 to 2, right? You're not going to make millions of dollars doing this unless you do it for a long time or have super high frequency.
Or a lot of money you're putting in.
Yeah, but the fact that you're locking in much bigger percentages on much fewer shares kind of equals, it balances all this stuff out. So you'll get this much profit on the majority of your shares and you'll get this much extra profit on what's left. So higher risk, smaller risk, right? So there's a lot of power in that, and I love it. All right, cool. So how did you feel about back testing this one? Because again, these are back tests; they're not real-time trades. Do you feel like this is something you could have followed day to day?
I could, yeah. So this specific one, I don't know where I messed up my numbers, but I still feel pretty confident in both of ours.
Okay, well that's okay.
Even though my numbers were a little off, I still didn't see a spot where I would have completely failed because I messed up numbers or anything.
Yeah, that's okay. We could just walk through it again, right? So this is your entry. This is your initial risk, right? You got 5 shares. Okay. You've got nothing. You got your 1 to 2 take profit around here somewhere. So that automatically sells 3 shares. You got 2 left at, let's say, this point, right? Somewhere up here. So you got 2 shares left. You got a higher validated low right here. Let me color code this. Oops. Okay, so you got 2 shares here. Price moves up. You get your 5 candle run. You sell some.
In this case, 1.
Yep. So you'd have 1 share left at that point. You get a higher validated low. You move your stop loss up. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Another 5 candle run right here. And you sell your last share right there. So you don't get to test this again, but it's good for practice, right?
Yeah.
So in theory.
And so
oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just saying. So that's where what I mean by, I still succeeded in the, I still did really good. However, somehow our numbers didn't exactly align, but either way, it still worked.
Yeah, it's the same thing. And you can also draw on these too. So if you wanted to just roughly sketch these out, you could, you could literally just say 5 shares here. and then -1 here, -1 here. So you have 1 left. Oops, God, I'm horrible at this. 2 left. It like tries to magnetize. That's weird. And then you have 1 here, which is -1, which leaves you with 0 shares. That's it. So you can do that. You can add the little text blocks if you want. 5 shares bought, and then just kind of drag these into place. You know, however you want to do that. It's up to you.
Yeah.
I don't really use the brush much because I suck at it, but yeah, you can use like arrows and just point to the candles and things like that if that's easier. So that's good stuff, man. Let's just walk through this just to see kind of the power of an uptrend, man. I mean, that's good, strong stock. I like it. So it gets a little choppy here, right? And then it just kind of falls off. So once that slope turns red, we don't have to look at it, right? So we like it again. And like right here, that's a good opportunity. It's a nice tiny risk. It's low.
And it technically is a positive slope.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't stay positive, but it has it. So let's see. Right there, you probably would have stopped out on that one. And that's okay, right? Because you made a bunch over here and you lose a little bit here. It's okay.
And you're still in the profit.
That's right. So what do we got? What do we got next? And
Let's do one of the loses.
Yep.
Let's do, where's my biggest loss? Which, let's see.
Well, they should all be the same size.
My numbers were odd, so each one is, they're no more than, like this one was -5%, but but a slightly larger. Some I took small shares, some I took larger shares, but they're all still in budget. So this one's Wolf.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, WOF. Petco.
Yep, and this was
okay.
April 4th, 2024.
Oh, it's recent. Okay. They have their. Do they have their earnings coming up? I just saw them. Or no, I'm thinking of Wolf. My bad. My bad. All right, so April 4th. This wasn't the entry though. This is just when you scrolled back to it.
Yeah. So let's see.
Okay. Because what I want to do now is I want to scroll forward and I want to see where you would have taken an entry.
Let me pull it up and. Why don't you like that?
Sure. Well, I'll draw a vertical line here so we can keep track of that too.
Let's see. Okay, cool. I still have my lines.
Okay.
I have 2 lines. That's nice one.
So I have an entry candidate on Monday, May 13th. Does that sound about right?
Let me take a look. I did find it.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't think. I'm honestly lost with my notes.
Okay, that's all right. That's something we can practice, right? Maybe it's did you have a template for him?
Well, because it looks like my entry was on March 1st.
Okay.
But then it also doesn't look like a great entry for me. From what I know now.
Fair enough. Okay. So you're looking at this guy. This red candle?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, this candle, do you think you were trying to trade the break of this guy? This red candle? You know what your price was? Was it like 258?
I was 266 with a stop loss of 252.
Okay. So it looks like you were trying to catch it on the 4th.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. So you were kind of trading this range right here, so a break of this guy. And that's perfectly valid, right? So we still have the red candle. We get the positive slope. We've got a small risk range, and we've got a.
It does drop below the
green candle.
20 MA though.
That's okay.
That's why I'm like, why did I choose that one?
That's all right. So it's still it still counts, right? It still matches the criteria. It's still a valid opportunity.
Yeah.
And we have to be very careful to not let this stuff influence our ability to make decisions when this is all we see.
Exactly.
Right. So this is perfectly valid, in my opinion. Or sorry, this Yeah, I think it was this guy, right? You're breaking.
It was that one that you're hovering. Oh, you moved. It was the one that dips below
This one?
on the first. One more
Oh,
over.
I got you. Okay, yeah, this guy. Or
That one. Yeah.
yeah, so you're entering here, and then that's your stop. Okay. Sorry, I
Yep.
forgot which one I did on. They're all valid. So, all right. So yeah, I mean, so if this is all I see, right? That's perfectly valid in my opinion. It looks like a good
Yeah.
opportunity. As long as I have tight risk and a reasonable position, there's no reason this shouldn't continue to go up. It just happened to not.
I
Right?
think it
So
stopped
you would have
out. I
stopped
have
out
it
right there.
stopped out on the 13th, is when I said.
Yeah, I got the 12th, but yeah, it's same end result, right?
Yeah.
So that's okay, right? So we can just continue watching it, right? Through all this garbage, this red slope. Let me just erase that, and then we get another opportunity right here, right? And if I'm using something like the
Yeah.
1% rule, the size of the risk doesn't really matter as long as it's greater than 1%, because I can just get right back in, right? So
Yeah.
let's see what this is. Okay, so we made our money back and then some. Right? So it doesn't matter. Like, I'm okay taking, 15, 20 little hits if you get like a 60% runner or something. It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
So this would be our initial take profit, right? Just a 1-to-2 ratio. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 candles right here in a potential 5-candle run. Let's see if we get our 5th. So we do. Okay, and then we'd lock in our partial stop just to get it in motion. Okay, and then let's see where it goes. Okay, we'd move that up. These are equal, so I just move it up and leave it under that one, and then we would have locked our another portion of them here, and then start looking for a higher validated low. Let's see if we get that. Nope, we get another 5-candle run instead. So 5 candles, and that's invalidated right there. So now we can start looking for a higher validated low if we get it. Nope, we get another 5-candle run. Jeez.
Jeez.
All right, I like this strategy. It's nice. All right, so this one, it looks like it would have wicked. Kind of hard to see there, but you can see it kind of poked
Yeah.
below. So that, for integrity purposes, that was a break of the 5-candle run. Let's see if we get a 5-candle or a higher validated low. That counts. Yeah, so this guy right here then becomes our higher validated low. So if we have any shares left at that point, we are out. Does that make sense? Nice, clean, easy trade.
But look at that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to be upset over that. So that's 95% on your last share, and you've locked at least 118% on one of your shares. If you had 5, right?
I'd take that.
Yeah, that's
I think
much
that's nice.
better. If you compare it to that little 5% risk, whatever, 1% overall loss, if you're doing the 1% rule, I mean, that's pretty nice. No stress, right?
Yeah.
So let's just erase all that. What else you got? Throw something else at me. This is fun. I like doing this. I should do it. Should do it for a hobby.
So I was just looking at my wins and losses. So I'd
Yeah.
4 losses, 5 wins.
Nice. Okay, you're better than most.
I think that's pretty good.
That's more than enough to win, right?
Let's do Siri.
SIR?
CIRI.
Oh, Siri. Okay.
Or, sorry, SIRI.
All right. And what kind of date range are we looking at?
Let's hope it's accurate. 10/29/2019.
Oh, okay. Going back in time. All right. Let's take a look here. You said 10/19/2019?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's going to be around here somewhere. Is that the date where you actually took the trade or saw the trade, or is that just kind of where you were?
That is what I'm trying to figure out right now.
Okay. Well,
Ooh, I even put I even put little text boxes on this one.
okay.
Look at me being fancy.
So I'm looking at the 22nd here. Looks like the 19th was a Saturday.
Let's take a look. Maybe
Maybe I got
that's
the
what's
date wrong.
going on. All right, so I have mine. Looks like, one sec, I gotta zoom in some more. I'm on a trackpad. So.
Oh, my condolences.
All right, I think I did my stop loss a bit wrong on this one, but it looks like the 29th of October 2019. Let's see if you
29th,
are on
okay.
that one.
So you didn't take this one, right? This the small red candle here?
No, mine's
Okay.
on the uh,
The
20
29th.
SMA.
Okay, cool.
No,
So it actually
mine's on
comes in
the
and
line.
touches it. Okay. Now, one thing that I wanted to point out here before we get to that date is that you had an earnings catalyst coming up.
Oh,
So that's always good to
yeah,
be
I entered
mindful
it
of.
right on there,
All right, let's take a look.
or like not right on it, but like right before it.
Yeah. All right, so this is the 28th, so the next day should be red, right? Okay, so if we're watching it,
Yeah, it looks
that,
so much bigger on yours.
that's the one I remember. All right, so this would be the entry, this would be the risk, right? Roughly. I mean, the numbers are going to be a little rough because I'm not
Yeah, so
adapting them.
I looks like this might have been when I was trying to figure out my stop loss
Mm-hmm.
accurately.
Okay.
Um, and I put it on the bottom of the body, not the wick.
Ah, I gotcha. Okay.
But then it also looks like it might have potentially stopped out depending on when it went low and when it went high on the next one.
Okay. I just have a target hit personally.
Well, so I entered on the red.
Oh, I
And
gotcha. Okay.
then,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
So
not
you
sure
weren't
if
waiting
that.
for the color change.
I guess technically, yeah, no. I
Okay.
guess that's something. So you say we should wait for the color change and then enter, and then put in all our entry and stop loss.
Yeah. So here's how I do it. Right. So if I'm watching the market and I see a red
Mm-hmm.
candle, that's my candidate, right? That's the one I want to watch for the next day.
Okay.
So what I'll do is I'll put a buy stop order in 1 cent above that open, and then I'll have to monitor in the market open to make sure it didn't already move like stupidly, right? But if it's still
Yeah.
in the same area, I'll let that go into market open, and when the price opens and pushes up, it should get filled, right? Or sometime
Yeah.
throughout the day, if it
So
goes up, it'll get filled.
so then if you go forward one more,
Yep.
so I would have put my entry there. Then I would have either gone down below stop loss, then hit, or hit, then gone down below stop loss.
Yeah. So it looks like in real time, right? What it would have done is the price would have gone down, 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 down. It would have
And then
made this low, and then it would have pushed up and broke over the
oh,
open. Yes.
perfect.
So you'd have been fine here. Yep.
I didn't even think about going into a lower time.
Oh yeah, that's all I think about. Now, don't make decisions while you're down there, because those will invalidate your setups. But it's good to kind of, when you're back testing, to see if you would have been, because that's the other alternative here, right? You would have entered, price would have gone down here to make the low, and then it would have come back up here and closed, and that's something we need to look into, which is
Yeah.
why we can go to the lower time frame. So in this case, yeah, I would have entered on the green candle on a break off the red. This would have been the risk, right? 2.33%, or if you use a 1% rule, 1% overall. And then
On this one, I had 1.05%, but that
nice.
is also my all my numbers are going to be a little off because of that stop loss being up.
Gotcha. Yeah, so this would have been down here once that was actually broken. So good stuff. Yeah, I mean, it looks like this one would have been a win, but it is super high risk, and we didn't have to take it because of that earnings, right? That's
Yeah,
super
well,
scary.
so since I took it, I hit take profit 1. I got a 5 candle that ended up going to 9 candles.
True. All right.
Then I got a higher validated low.
Okay.
I got another 7 candles, another higher validated low,
Jeez. All right.
another higher validated low, and then 5 candle, and then it stopped out.
Okay, so let me just mark this out here. So you said entry to target 1, then you've had a 9 candle run, and then you had a higher validated low, and then a 7 candle run, and then what was after
and
that?
then 2 more higher validated lows,
Okay, and then stop
and then a
loss.
5 candle, and then
Jeez.
stop loss.
Okay.
So
Damn. All right.
let's see. That's why I wanted to see this one. I was like, okay, let's see. I'm curious how I did, even though my numbers were a little off.
All right, that's beautiful. So we got the entry and take profit 1 so far. All right, so let's see where this crazy train goes. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3 candles and a 5 candle potential. 4, 5. So at this point, we would have moved our partial stop up, right?
Yep.
So let's go ahead and put that in place. So we got 6, 7. Oh, nope, you would have broken it right there on this guy. So 7 candles. But that's okay.
Oh wait, no, yep, never mind. 7 candles is later.
Yep.
Yeah, that was. I did have a 9 for some reason. I guess I missed that low one.
That's okay. All right, so let's go ahead and oops. All right, let's go ahead and walk through some more. And then this, so you would have hit that, and then you got 1, 2, 3, right? And then that would have been invalidated. Okay. Let's see, what's the low here? 688. So this guy is the candidate for a higher validated low. So we got that, right? So then we take our stop loss and move this up here. Whoops. Why is this not? Oh. All right, so let's move this up here because this is now where our stop loss should be. And we've got 1, 2, 3 in
What date was that on? That
this
higher validated low.
the second candle here, which is the actual candidate, was on November 14th, 2019.
Oh, I missed that one.
All right, so let's take a look. So now if we have one more candle, that's another. Oh, okay. So we would have been out in that case.
Whoa.
Yep. Does that make sense?
That drop, I believe. Your screen looks so much different than mine.
Yeah. Oh, they do have a dividend. Maybe it was adjusted or something.
Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, I had a different higher validated low down the line and blah blah blah. But
Okay.
either way, I still
It's a
would have
profit.
walked away on that. Yeah, and even
Yeah.
with the mess ups, I still would have walked away at
Yeah.
10%.
Yep. So you would have entered here. You would have locked 75% of your shares here. You would have locked 75% of what you had left here, and then you would have exited completely here.
That's still a win.
That's a win. I like it.
Done right, a win. Done wrong, like I was doing, still a win.
Still a win. All right. That's good stuff. All right. What else you got? We'll do one more.
Oh boy, let's see. Is there a juicy one? Let's see. Let's
like
do my
this.
first one. LCID.
Lucid. All right. We like this one. What kind of date we looking at?
8/26/24. So this is the one that I did live, and it stopped out on me.
Okay. So 826 is right somewhere, right? It's
I
up
think
here.
my dates are off on here. I think
Yeah.
because they weren't. Yours and mine are not the same. So that's interesting. So I'm trying to follow along.
Yeah. Huh. And you sure you were on the daily for this one?
Yeah. 1 sec. Let me.
Sure. I'll just walk down through the time frames, see if I can find one.
I was on 1 hour.
Okay. There we go. That's the
for
culprit.
my first one.
Okay.
I said.
Okay. That's beautiful. So you got probably this guy, right? Just zoom. 26.
I said no. So this was my first one, by the way. So I said no recent red, so move to the 1 hour.
Gotcha.
Don't know why. That's just that's why.
Okay. So was it 419 or 420 your entry?
I had 1 second. I'm trying to scroll in with the trackpad.
Sure.
Takes me 5 extra years.
I hear you.
5 business days. All right, I'm here. I got my entry on the 26th on my screen for 4:28.
4:28 a.m.
No, wait, now on the hour. Yes, the dollar amount.
Oh, $4.28. Okay. All right. So maybe you were trading this guy, do you think?
Yes, that looks right.
Okay. It's easy enough. All right. So then your stop loss would have been here, and then your take profit would have been somewhere up here. Let's go ahead and draw that out.
Yeah, stop loss I put at 421. Take profit at 442. But I also didn't have, or I didn't know the 1 cent below and 1 cent above.
Gotcha. Okay.
We talked about that after.
Gotcha. All right. So one thing we want to do if we're going sub daily for these is we want to take it off the extended hours. Is that outside market hours? You might not. It depends on if you're seeing this. So if it's not touching the moving average, you probably have it turned on, because if I look at extended hours, this is touching the moving average, and it looks a lot more tantalizing than it was. Like, this is still a pretty good setup. We just got to be careful about, 7 o'clock at night, stuff like that.
Yeah, so
because there's no volume down here.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. But just from a purely price action perspective, this still looks perfectly valid, right? We just don't have the volume. And it just happened to have stopped out. And that's okay. It's a 1.64% loss, right?
Yeah, and this is before I realized the whole replay stuff. So I was trying to do this one live
Gotcha.
at,
Okay.
at 8 at night.
Fair enough. So then if we go ahead and look at the that same chart without the extend hours turned on, this one doesn't touch the moving average. So if that's your specific criteria, this one wouldn't have been active.
Yeah.
But that's okay, correct? Because we don't need it to
I
touch
did
that.
have it above.
Yep. And what's super important here is, like, look at this stop loss, the size of this red block compared to the size of this red block. It doesn't matter. Like, you could take a bunch of these.
I stopped out, but I could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. So this just happens to be the last of the series of color changes which happen to have been successful. Because if you look at all these, for the most part, except for this guy, probably,
I could have entered right there at that very bottom one, right before the first big green one.
yeah, like most of these are green and profitable. So like this guy didn't have a color change. So no entry there. No color change here, no color change here, no color change here unless you come back up, but you got candles below, so that's garbage. So like this stuff is kind of garbage, right? There's really nothing much we could do here. Maybe you like this guy. Yeah. Maybe you took the small hit there.
I'm just getting stuck on, so the one that you're looking at right now, that little hump with the 3 red candles. Yeah.
Okay.
So right after that, I have a green candle. It looks like yours is red.
Do you have extended hours turned on?
No, I'm on regular trading hours.
Oh, interesting. It should be.
Oh, wait.
Oh, no, it's a flat candle. That's why. So it's 317 and 317.
ADJ. Yeah, whatever that means.
So yeah, that should
no, that didn't do anything, actually. Just kidding.
Okay.
Interesting. Trading views being weird.
Yeah, it's weird. But either way, this candle here opens and closes at the same price, so it doesn't really matter. It's just a flat doji. The only reason mine's showing as red is because that's the volume is red, and that just means that there were more, fills on one side than the other. But no price action difference.
And my volume's green. Interesting.
Yep. Now, if we take a look at all the candidates, right, along the way here. So if I just hit replay here, because these are garbage, right? The only one that's semi-appealing here is this guy.
Yeah.
I personally don't really care if it touches the moving average. It's close enough, or I can take a super small risk.
Last one that it's on without knowing the next candle. Yeah, I like that one.
Let's map
it out. But without knowing the next candle.
Which we won't in real time. So let's take a look.
That's fair.
So we would just move our lines down more, right? So we'd still have a valid entry the following hour, and that, maybe stopped out, maybe it didn't, right? Maybe this happened first, maybe this happened. If this happened first and then it pushed up, we would have taken a potential entry, and it wouldn't have ended well. Or it might have, right? We have no way of knowing that. So, we could just assumably chalk this up as a loss, right? Because we don't want to backtest and be like, oh, what if? Let's call it a loss and move on, because it's too much headache, right?
Yeah.
What we do have here is an opportunity here that we can look at with that risk. Potentially. Okay, and we didn't get a color change here, so this becomes the new entry, so there wouldn't have been a trade there. That becomes the new risk range, in which case we would have entered. And I'm not going to map out the... Yes, I will. It's going to map out roughly. It's not going to be like to the cent, but let's just map this out really quick, and we'll just walk through it super fast. Bloop. All right, so we hit our target here. So take profit 1. Now we can start the countdown of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if we want. I'll just walk through. I'm not going to draw all the lines there.
We're at 4.
All right, so we got our 5th, and then we would have maybe locked some profits there, because these two are equal, which means it counts as a +1 in the sequence. So now we're going to look for a higher validated. Okay. So higher validated low. All right. And then, like I said, a big candle like this, we can always just lock profits if we want to. Like, we don't have to just not give ourselves profits. Yeah. But a good way to do that is just, halfway up here. If you wanted to set a take profit, you could do that. But for the sake of being purely mechanical, that's not a higher validated low because this guy invalidates it. So we look for a 5 candle run. We got our 5 candle run, so we move our partial stop up. right now. And we would have locked some more
You hit it.
profits right there.
Yeah.
Okay. 2, 3, 5. Another partial stop right here. Like, you see how easy this is to just click. All right, so we would have locked some profits after this guy got invalidated right here.
Yeah.
Still no higher validated low. There we go. So we got a higher validated low. So this becomes the new full stop, right? And, you know, any of these could have been taken as a potential entry as well. Like this guy entered here, you would have stopped out. And then this guy you could have entered, and you would have made a profit. This guy could have been entered, that would have been a profit. This guy could have been entered, that would have been a profit. This guy didn't have a color change, unless you want to include all these candles, at which point it would have been a profit anyway.
So when we're looking at higher validated lows, are we looking at the body or the wick?
The wick. I use the wick for everything.
Okay.
Well, everything
Okay,
except
so
the entry.
it should be. I'm looking for a V when I do the higher validated lows. That's not accurate. Then.
It won't necessarily be a V, because like in this case right here, I'll just zoom in on this.
Yeah.
This guy is lower, so it's more like an N shape in that case.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it just has to be two higher.
Yeah, you're just
on
looking at
each
the
side.
wicks. Yeah, you just want to make sure they don't contest the low on this side or this side for at least 2 candles on both sides. That's all. And
Okay.
that's just to make sure that the bears weren't able to push the price down farther than that point. Because then if the price moves up after that or sustains up there, that's kind of their Alamo. So we don't want to lose that.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I've seen that a couple times while you were doing this, and I was like, wait,
Yeah.
how'd I miss that one?
Yep. So in this case, we don't have a higher validated low, and we don't quite have a 5 candle run yet. And here's another example. We don't get a 5 candle run or a higher validated low, but this is a nice candidate if we can get 2 more candles that are higher.
2 more up, yeah.
There we go.
Which we do.
So this then becomes the new higher validated low. And now we're
And
1,
now
2, 3
we're almost
candles
at
in.
my entry.
Yep. All right, so let's see if we get a higher validated low. We'd have been out. But we entered down here,
Yeah.
right? So I'm okay with that. So let's go ahead and look and see how much percentages that might have been, right? Or sorry, this guy, right? So 27% roughly. And we knew we had profit potential up here somewhere, but this is where we kind of locked that profit for sure on the last shares. Now before that, we had some lock profit right here. And before that, we had some lock profit, you know, somewhere around here. That's our higher validated low. We made a lot of profit on that, potentially, right? So I'll take a loss like this. I'll take a bunch of those, you know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we would have made profit and then stopped out 1%.
Yeah.
You would
Who
have had
cares?
to lose a lot of times before.
Yep. And that's, I know a lot of people are like, they try it for like a week or two, or they maybe try it for a couple of weeks, and they're like, oh, my win rate sucks, it's trash, blah, 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 and they just kind of abandon it.
Yeah.
And then you look at the same stocks that you were trading a year ago, a year later after you gave up, and you're like, man, I should have just stuck with that. It doesn't have to be this strategy, it's just any strategy. If you could do it consistently and it has rules that make sense, like I don't know what the future is going to hold for this guy. The MA is flat. Do I need to know what the future is going to hold? I don't. And this gives me confidence because it's either going to go up or down. So in this case, it's red. There's a slope, negative. I don't need to look at this. So it's green. And then we got a green slope, back to red. So I don't need to trade any of this garbage.
So I think that's why I like the lower time frames better, is because
Oh, there we go. We're all done.
I don't know if I have the patience to sit for 5
Yeah.
weeks waiting for.
Well, let's kick it down to the 15. Let's just pick a random date. Give me
Yeah,
a
that's
random
kinda-
day.
On the spot. Let's do June 25th, 2022.
Ooh, okay. June 25th, 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a look here. June 25th. All right.
Don't ask.
It was a Saturday.
random date.
It was a Saturday, so we got to
Oh,
do
of course
a
it
different
was.
day. But I'll look on the 15-minute time frame.
Just do that Let's do that Monday.
Okay. So let's and we got extended hours turned off. So we're looking at got to go from Friday to Monday. So let's jump to the 27th. Okay. So the 27th opens up, big red candle, nothing to do. Right? We're on the 15 minutes, so we're not even on the 1 hour. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what the higher time frame bias is. I don't know anything. I don't know any levels. I'm going to zoom in stupidly close so we can't even see what's to the left. All right. Okay. So we got a green slope. We got a red candle.
Let's
Let's
chart
see if
that
we
out.
get an
We got
entry.
15 minutes to chart it out.
That's all right. I think we got plenty of time. All right. So we didn't get an entry. And we didn't really break either the upper or lower levels. Okay. So in this case, who knows? Did we go up first and then down? Did we go down first and then up? It looks like we went up, came down. So this would have been a loss.
Because you would have entered because you had that.
Yep.
Oh.
And that's okay, right? Because we don't need every single trade to be a winner. So let's go ahead and just keep walking forward. All right, so we got a green slope. We got a red candle, but it's way up there. Right now, I personally would still trade it if it was a smaller range, but this is a pretty big range, so there's no reason to trade that. So let me just erase all these lines too. All right, so we had one loss so far. All right, so we're starting to walk down. Now this touches the moving average, so I kind of like these. Sorry. This is what I would just use the 1% rule, so it doesn't matter, personally. So in this case, we still just didn't get an entry, and that's okay. All right, but this becomes our new risk threshold, or new entry threshold, sorry. And then we have a risk way, way, way down here if we get an entry. All right, so this one's a little bit closer. We didn't get an entry on this at all. Okay, so no trade.
So curious, sorry, for that one, you put your stop loss on the low wick of the green candle.
Yes. That's if we get a break above this entry threshold, then you want to look at the lowest point between the open candle, the opening price of this candle, and whenever it breaks back up.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I think so.
All right. So we just got to wait till that moving average turns green again. We can skip all this garbage. Everyone else right here is screaming, panicking, losing their life savings. I don't know what I'm going to tell the wife. We don't have to have those difficult conversations because we're not buying and holding like fools. There is a time and a place to do that, but it's not on Lucid.
Oh, it's going down.
All right, positive slope. Okay, now we just got to look for a red candle.
There's one.
A red candle, but it's got a negative
but not
slope.
a positive slope, yeah.
Yep. So we just skip. Okay, so we can just, let's rewind that a little bit. I think it went a little too fast. Let's look at it. Okay, so let's see what we get. Okay, so this is red candle, negative slope. Now the next candle needs to have a positive slope. So let's see if that has one. Because this, I think, is where it went a little fast. So we could have entered. I mean, I could add up all 19 candles here and see if that would have been a positive slope. I believe it would have been. But we can just, for the sake of integrity here, we can just assume we wouldn't have traded this. Right?
Yeah.
But let's just see how it goes, just to practice the rest of our process. Okay? Let's see here. And if we get a better entry opportunity down here, I'll just erase all this and start with that one. So this would be a good candidate if we can get a break. All right, so it looks like this theoretical trade would have been a loss, and we just didn't get an entry opportunity. Let's use that, and we'll see if this gives us... Now this has a full candle below the moving average, so we can skip on that too. We just erase those. So we don't really care about candles that are below the moving average.
Chose an awful day.
Uh-huh.
So I chose an awful day.
That's okay. So this guy right here, this is a little bit far away, but again, I like these. This is just a personal preference, and if you don't like trading these, you don't have to if they're not, close enough to the moving average. Or if you do trade them, you can always just apply the 1% rule, just to make sure that you're not risking a whole bunch. There we go. You would have stopped out. So, that's okay. It's a 7-cent loss. I'm all right with it. Not the end of my world. Let's go ahead and see if we can get a red candle here. All right, so we got another opportunity right here. So this not going so great so far, but let's take a look and see what we get. So no entry on this candle because it didn't break up. So instead, we get a new entry threshold and a new stop loss. Okay. All right, so no action there other than moving the stop loss down. That make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
All right, because since this candle opened, the price went all the way down here. So this is the lowest point that it went. Now we want to catch it on the way back up. Okay, so this would have entered. Yep. So let's go ahead and plot.
It wouldn't have stopped out because you moved it down.
Not yet, yeah. Let's see what our target would be. And this is rough. Like it's not to the cent. I'm not doing the plus minus thing.
Yeah.
Just crudely drawing these in because we're trading the big ranges here. We're just fine tuning our entry and our risk. That's all. But let's see what we get here.
No, back.
Nothing else matters, right? There we go. So we would have hit target. All right, so we would have locked 75% of our shares, and now we start looking at the other stuff, right? So now I see 3 candles in a row with higher lows. This guy's got a lower low, so we can't use that. So 1, 2, 3. And again, we could just lock profits if we want to. 4, 5.
4, 5.
Okay, cool. So we got a partial stop right here. And we just let the process work. Let the system do its thing, right? So chances are we're probably going to slam back down because we know lucidness sucks. But we got our stop loss all the way up here towards the top. The strat kids are going to love this. It's an inside candle, so bullish harami. Depending on which way this breaks out of this candle, this guy right here, that should dictate another impulse, in theory, right? So let's see, is this the same price? 1808, 1808. Okay, so we wouldn't have locked profits here, but we wouldn't have moved the partial stop either.
Yeah.
Right? Got to move this guy up. We'll just visually move them up if there's a bunch of these. Okay, so we would have locked some here. Let's go ahead and first take profit, second take profit. And then we can look for a higher validated low at this point. See if we get that. All right, so we got our higher validated low right here. Let's move that up.
And that's a full stop, right?
Yeah, full stop.
That's all out.
All out. 100% out. Don't want to be in it anymore. And we're out.
And we're out.
And we're out. It's over. Let it go. All right, so not bad, right? Not a huge profit, but not bad for what it is. It's a 6.71% risk on the last shares. But we hit our take profit. We locked in 75%. We had a mechanical approach here, so we didn't have to make any guesses and all that good stuff, and we very easily outperformed the little hiccups over here.
Yeah.
Right? So
nothing made the money back.
Yeah, I didn't have to guess. I didn't have to do anything other than just do what I always do. So along the way, even if we didn't take this entry, maybe it was too big, we could have grabbed this one. We could have grabbed this guy on that breakout. We would have stopped out of that one. We could have entered this guy. Let me just erase all these drawings so you can see. We could have grabbed any of these guys. Like this guy's a nice tight risk as well. This is a nice tight risk. Those would have been very easy winners. Let's see what else we get.
I was going to say, in that small one,
this guy?
that's down where you're just at. That had the red MA slope.
Oh, this guy?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you would have done that one, the next candle, you would have moved your stop loss down, but it wouldn't have hit entry. Or wait, no, yes, it would have. Never mind.
It would have been there to there.
I'm seeing it.
Yep.
I was looking at the wicks. Okay.
I gotcha. All right. And then if we just decide, if we just want to randomly grab one, right? Let's just say that we like this setup right here. Okay. Let me just change these back to solid lines. I hate that trading. I like it, but I hate it that it keeps track of things for you.
How dare it?
Yeah. Let's just see where it goes, right? So this one, maybe it hit our stop. Maybe it went up before it did. Let's take a look at 3 minute just for fun. So this one you would have just stopped out and then it would have pushed up, and that's okay, right? That's all. That's the mental battle comes in at that point. Because before this candle formed, right? This is what we saw. We had no idea the price was going to go up here. So when it dips down and then rips, you can't beat yourself up for that. Right? We had 1 of 2 outcomes here.
Internal pain, but it happens.
Yeah, but figuring out where that pain comes from and understanding how kind of irrational it is helps take that pain away. Like you're in the room with a demon, you just got to call out its name and be like, "You're silly, man. Get out of here." And then it'll go away. It's going to take some exposure though. But yeah, I mean that's the whole process right there. I mean, you could have just as easily taken this entry, right? Because this was green. You could have grabbed this entry on that, and then that could have been your stop loss. You still would have stopped out. Doesn't matter. Right? You've got this opportunity, and you've got this opportunity. 2 same, very similar opportunities here, but 2 very different outcomes. Does it matter? And can you predict that ahead of time? Absolutely not.
Unless you're doing 15 of those all in 1 week and you're just beating yourself up over
right.
it.
What is it? What
maybe the next week you get 15 wins.
exactly? And your wins are going to outperform your losses in multiples, as long as you do them the right way and just kind of be consistent about it. But your losses should all be the same size or smaller. That's all that matters. Your wins should be disproportionately larger than your losses at all times. So every single win you get should be bigger than every single loss, and your losses should all be capped at the same size. That's figured it out. Like that's trading for you.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like you're there. You're a master trader at that point.
So when it comes to mine, so a lot of my risks were over 1%.
Okay.
I know we were trying to do the 1% rule, and I just did the 1 to 2 ratio,
Okay.
and that usually wasn't like most of my entries were. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Kinda,
No, for sure. So if you take, let's say you take 1 to 2 take profit on every risk you take. If one of those ends up being like a 6.5% win, and you're taking a 7% loss on another trade, you're net negative.
Yeah.
But if you can implement something like the 1% rule, every single loss will be 1% or less, and every single win should be at least double your risk. So
At least 2%.
at least. Yep.
Yeah. For all of mine, it was double. It's just some were like
Yeah.
5.8% risk.
Yeah,
Some
and
were
that's
1%.
so that's kind of the gap of inconsistency that most traders don't think about when they do figure out like, oh, I need to take a disproportionate take profit ratio. I need to use, managed position size. Like they get so close and they still get inconsistent results and they just can't figure it out. And it's usually just that. It's just they're not basing their profits on in relation to their portfolio, but rather just individual trade, and that's what messes them up. So they don't know that because they don't develop the consistency to track that stuff and to be consistent. But once you figure it out, you can make little changes like that and just implement a little bit of math. And you got 15 minutes to make these decisions, so it's at least on the 15-minute. And it gets a lot easier. Let me just stop replaying this. Some problems here. Yeah, I mean that's why
I was trying to mess around with the 1% and seeing what on my screen, seeing what it would look like.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was gonna say, if you want, I can share. I do have to jump off here pretty soon.
Yeah, that's fine.
But if you want to, I can share this cheat sheet. Did I give you this yet?
I did use it,
Okay.
and it confused me because the numbers still weren't accurate.
Okay. Well, do you have an example? I can walk you through it.
So for mine, actually, right here, I have the wolf one.
WOF.
Yeah, I have it up already
Okay.
on here. I have the red candle open at 265, sequence low at 253. That might be my issue.
253 is that?
I need to try it. Yeah, I need to try
Okay.
it more or again.
Okay. What was the date on that one? I forgot.
I think that was my. Oh gosh, that was the wrong one. That was the April 4th. That wasn't actually April 4th.
Oh, right. Okay. And that was 2024, right?
Yeah.
Okay. No worries. Yeah, so I think if we use this, was it? Oh, yeah, that's 181. That's a 60 or 80 cents off from the. Is it over here? Anyway.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but I used it on one, and it turns out it must have been Wolf because that's
Okay.
what was on here when I pulled it up.
Gotcha.
But my numbers were wrong. I think my stop loss and take profit were wrong, but then my
Okay.
risk range was also wrong.
Yeah, that'll all cascade if you have one number wrong. It'll just kind of mess it up.
And I couldn't figure it out.
Okay, no worries. So if we're looking at, let's just walk through an example here really quick. So I'm looking at the same date range, and I know I can't share this on the screen. Well, yes, I can. Let me just switch back over here.
I was gonna say, do we want to find a random one and try it out?
Yeah, if you got one, that'd be great.
Let's take a looky. Let's go to. I'm just gonna say, let's do ABUS.
ABUS. All right, let's take a look.
The first one that popped up on my screener.
Beautiful. All right. So do you want to use this candle up here, or do you want to use a lower one?
What date are you on?
I'm on the daily time frame. This is August 29th and August 30th, or we can use the candle from today.
Let's do one that we can. Actually, no. Let's do that one because we're not looking at
This one here?
Yeah, we're not looking at wins. We're looking at the.
Okay. For sure. All right, so this candle opens at 4:58. So I'm gonna type this in over here.
Yeah, I'm gonna
$4.58.
pull it up on my screen.
And then the sequence low would be the low of this candle so far, right? If tomorrow's low is lower before it breaks over that level, then that's going to be a lower low. So this low is currently 444. So 458 and 444. I got a 3.49% risk range. Let me pop that up. Oops, sorry. Let me draw the lines here. And then I'll switch back over here. I'll switch the screen that you can see. Back over to that cheat sheet. So my entry here would be 459. And my stop loss would be 443. And then my take profit on this would be $4.91. Is that what you're getting?
One sec.
Sure.
I must have extended. I don't know what's going on because I have 2 green candles.
Oh, okay. Do you want to send me a screenshot in Discord and I'll take a look?
Yeah,
Okay. You're not using Heiken-Ashi candles, are you?
that's a good question. I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I'm using normal candles.
All right.
One sec. I pull up my screenshot. Capture. Send. All right, just sent it to you.
Alrighty, let's take a look here. So, got it pulled up here. Green. Oh, you're on the 1 hour time frame.
That's right.
Why?
Aha! I knew that was going to happen when we moved over to 1 hour.
Yeah.
There we are. Okay. So let's see. 458 for the entry and 444 for the close.
Yep.
And if I adjust my thing down to 2. All right. What am I looking at for numbers?
Okay, so my buy level is 459, so 1 cent above the open.
Oh, I need to move that, and I didn't look at the open. All right, move my take profit up. Okay,
All right.
now that's accurate.
All right, beautiful. So all of the
What was
numbers
the
line up.
low? Low was 444, so I need my stop loss 1 cent less.
Yep.
443. Which means I need to move that 1 down. All right, I think all my numbers line up.
Beautiful.
So let's see. Let me check my. Yeah, I'm all lined up now. I don't know what my issue was earlier.
Huh. I wonder, it might have just been the time frame. But that's okay.
Well, I mean earlier in like last week.
Oh. Yeah,
I
I
was
don't know.
having issues with it not lining up properly, but it's lining up. I have
Well,
risk
here we
range
are.
of 3.49%.
Awesome. That sounds like it works then.
Voila, your stuff works.
It's only because I'm here watching it. It's
Yeah,
going to misbehave as soon
right.
as we hang up.
I
All right.
also didn't use mine. I was just going off what yours said.
Ah, gotcha.
Let me try to input that really quick.
Sure.
We can do this off if you want to. Let's see. 458 was red candle open, right?
Yep, 458 and 444.
And that's all I have to enter. 349. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
So now tomorrow, not saying we want to trade this one because it's pretty high up and it's a pretty sizable risk, but 3 things are going to happen tomorrow, and only 3 things, right?
Correct.
Price is going to go up, trigger entry in our theoretical trade because I wouldn't want to trade this. Price is going to go down and give us a new low,
And we don't have an entry, so we didn't stop.
right?
Because we didn't buy right now because we don't know what's next.
Yep, but we do move the stop loss down.
Yeah.
All right, and that's it. That's all we got to do in that case. So if it goes up, we trigger, we get an entry, stop loss becomes real. If it goes down, we move our stop loss down as soon as the day is over. And then if the price goes sideways, we do nothing. So
Correct.
the only thing we need to do, if we were to trade this, would be to set a buy stop order and then monitor it in case we get a lower low. And that's it. If nothing else happens, we're either going to get a red or green candle inside this range, at which point if it's a red candle, we move our threshold down. If we get a lower low, we move our stop loss down. And we just do that over and over again until it comes down to the moving average, as close as we can get it. Eventually it'll release to the upside or it'll drop below the moving average and there's no trade. Once we're in, we just follow our rules and take profits 75% at a time after we hit that first take profit, and then we move our stop loss up on every higher validated low and we're good to go. Seem reasonable?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Now we got to get into the more complicated stuff later. So this is the complicated stuff, but this is where.
I think are you showing me something? Or?
No, I wasn't, and I should.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm so bad at this. I need someone else to manage my screen shares for me.
Just need some buttons you can swap.
Yeah. So here's what I had in mind. So I was saying basically, either the price is going to go up, at which point we get our entry. It's going to clear that level.
Yeah.
Price will go down, we get a new low, at which point we move the stop loss, or price goes sideways and we just move that down if it's a red candle. We move this down if we get the lower low, blah, 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 all the way down into the moving average. And we seek that reversal, that color change, break to the upside, and then we focus just on taking profits, and that's all we care about. Easy? Enough?
Easy peasy.
All right. So what I want you to do is get me 10 more.
10 more.
10 more. Just back test them. 10 more.
Yes,
Random.
sir.
Exactly how you did it. And then we'll start getting into the paper trading some, if you want, in real time, because that's where we're really going to put our metal to the test, and we're going to figure out if we can actually do this.
As I said, that's what I'm interested in next, is making live entries.
Absolutely. That's always the challenge.
My paper trading doesn't, like, on TradingView, doesn't seem to be liking the weird entries in all the different orders, so I gotta figure it out. But
What do you mean?
it won't let me.
Your buy stops?
I can't remember. Yeah, it won't let me place. Like, I have to look at it and try it again because it's been a little bit, but I remember it being done.
Okay, it is. But if you want to, I can walk you through this pretty quickly.
Yeah, let's do it now. Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
That way I can go back to the video and watch it.
Perfect. All right. So you see the paper trading, it's connected, blah, blah, blah. I got a paper account set up, right? So I hit the trade button that shows this order window. I want to make sure I'm on buy, and then I want to click stop. Because I want to buy a stop order, because I want to catch it on the way up. So my price is going to be what's on that spreadsheet of $4.59. So $4.59, because I'm setting this up for a break over this level right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the next trick here is going to be changing this from USD risk, right? Because this is probably where it's not letting you do stuff. Or it might be percent balance or percent risk. So you always want to make sure you have that set to USD if you're using the 1% rule. And in this case, I can either set the number of shares, which in this case is 62 shares, which I'm not going to do on this specific account.
Cheat sheet. Yeah.
Yep. And I want to make sure my take profit and stop loss levels are set. And then I want to change these price entries right here. Not ticks, not USD, not percentages, but the price to those levels where I want, $4.91 take profit. And then for my stop loss, I want a $4.43 level. Right? And you can see as I'm putting these in, it places the order kind of where it would be. And then I want to place buy if I was actually to place this. And then when market opens tomorrow, if the price is above this, it'll fill and it'll activate these bracket orders.
And then because you don't want to do all your shares at take profit, you would set up
multiple orders
slightly differently. Yep. Multiple orders.
Yep. And so in this case, what I could do is let's do what's 62 times 0.75? That's 47 shares, right? So 47. And when I place this buy order, these numbers will all stay the same.
Mhm.
So all I need to do is go back in and be like, okay, now 15 shares, right? And I would leave the stop loss the same, but I'd change this price up to like 525 or something. So
Yeah,
it's out of the way, right?
perfect.
And that's all you got to do.
I
And
like
then,
that. I might have to give it a shot
yep. And
once.
once these are
I just,
set, sorry.
I think when I did replay, I don't think it was letting me do that.
Ah, yeah. Oh no, you can't.
So
Yeah, it's got
I'll
to
have
be
to
real
find a
time.
couple live ones and see what see what I can do for some live ones.
Perfect. All right. Well, let's do 10
I'll
more
put
back
live
tests.
on them.
Okay, there you go. Let's just do 10 more back tests for the
Okay.
next week.
Okay.
And it can be on, it can be on different time frames and stuff. Just make sure you track what time frame it is and keep that extended hours off because that'll mess you up. Um,
I don't know what's happening with my number.
yeah. Well, that's kind of why I wanted to
I'll
start on the daily, so
take
it's
some
just
more
one time frame.
notes.
Well, that's
Try
why
to.
we're here.
Yep.
Yep. Get that process down first, and then we start throwing money at it, not the other way around. so,
Throw
um,
money at it. Figure out what you're doing next.
Yep. So get me 10 more trades, just back tests, no real trades yet, no real time stuff, because I don't want you to get too
Yeah.
distracted. And then after that, we'll try some real time trades, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, that's just get those next 10 back tests, and if those go well, we'll move in. If you have more obstacles, we could just do 10 more after that for the back test, because I want to make sure you're
Sounds good.
solid. All right, and then we'll build into the dividend stuff. We'll build into the passive income, some option stuff later on. But I really want to make sure you got a strategy here, because I know everybody wants to speculate. They want to get involved. So I'm not going to try to deny you that, but I want to make sure you're doing it with some training wheels and make sure that you're safe. All right.
Definitely.
All right. So let me end
All
the
right.
recording here. See you guys next time. Thank you. I'll stay on here for a second with you. But yeah, recording is over.